Hello everybody, welcome to another opening day game in the 1987 Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced season. This is my attempt to play the American League, the entire American League schedule. All games, all teams, card and dice, using the Strat-O-Matic computer to input the stats. I've already played, of course, the opening day game. The very first game in 87 was played in Toronto, and that was Toronto and Cleveland. Baltimore was shortly behind them. So I won't spoil what happened in the Cleveland-Toronto game for this one, in case you want to go back and watch it. But technically, this is like the second game of 1987 the American League schedule. It is the Texas Rangers at the Baltimore Orioles. Starting pitchers, Charlie Hough for the Texas Rangers and Mike Boddicker for the Baltimore Orioles. 1987 was one of these interesting years where the font was different and the back of the cards for basic have this infield looking thing on them. So it was I guess just an experiment they tried. And so we're going to go with it. I remember 1987 vividly. I just got out of the Army and was in college, my freshman year in college. So when I got out of classes and everything, I'd come back and actually watch this game live when it happened on the Oriole Network. It used to be called Home Team Sports. Now it's called Mid-Atlantic Sports Network. But it used to be called Home Team Sports. And Chuck Thompson and Brooks Robinson called the game. And Orioles won it in the bottom of the ninth on a Larry Sheets sacrifice fly to beat the Rangers 2-1. We'll see what they can do in this one. But since it's opening day, I feel I want to go through I don't have a whole lot of pomp and circumstance, but this is part of the pomp and circumstance. And we're going to have the national anthem. So if you like, you can take off your hats, gentlemen, and get ready for the national anthem. All right, now I'm in the mood for some baseball. So we'll go ahead and even they even woke Tabby up. She was laying down, but she even stood up for that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, get everything set up for first pitch from Memorial Stadium right after this. Okay, welcome back for opening day. And getting his warm-up tosses in is Mike Boddicker. And about ready to step into the box is going to be O.B. McDowell. O.B. McDowell. Right now I'm going to start like this. I may have to move some of the cards around. I'm not sure how I'm going to, do this. Again, I'm using this setup versus the Strat-O-Matic horizontal score sheet, so I'm going to see what happens here because this has the pre-filled lineups on it. As I said, Baltimore won the game in real world 2-1. Ballpark effects. Singles are 1-3 for both lefties and righties, and home runs are 1-11 for both lefties and righties, as Memorial Stadium is a symmetrical park. Got our Baltimore Oriole colored dice, and I got the game up on the computer. I'm going to score it manually as we play. And one thing that the 1987 cards don't have for the pitchers, they don't have their their wild pitches and their balks, but the computer does. The computer card does. So if I come up to that, I can pull up Boddicker's card and get that information without any issues. All right, everything else, they are carded for clutch. They are carded for ballpark singles and home run chances. Let's see. At least I think they're carded for clutch. They may not be carded for clutch. I have to double check. No, yes, they are. Scott Fletcher has a clutch on it, so they are carded. The only thing I don't see is the pitcher having the balks and the wild pitches. They do have the hold ratings. They got the error ratings, so they're all good there. They got for the steals. They got what they need there. The only thing they don't have on the catchers is they don't have their pass ball rating. But again, I will get that off the computer if I need it. All right, so we're underway. Game 2 of the 1987 season. Already played the opener, Cleveland and Toronto. Hope you enjoyed that one. But now we're ready for Game 2 here on April the 6th, and it's Texas and the Orioles. Boddicker against Odeby, Young again, McDowell. 5-6 against Boddicker is a split chance. 1-13 is a double. 14-20, he flies to right. That's a 16. So he will fly out to John T-Bone Shelby for out number 1, and Boddicker catches a break. Right off the bat, he catches a break. And now that brings up the shortstop, Scott Fletcher. Get a 4-7 right-handed. That's a walk. So first base runner for Texas is a walk to Fletcher. He will be held, but he's not going to try to go anywhere. Needs a 2 through 6 or a 10 to get the lead, but he could be caught with an 8. But the Oriole pitcher quotient is a +3. Boddicker's a +3. Kennedy's a 0. So it would be, if he got the jump, it'd be an 18 minus 2 would be a 16. So they might try it. Now that we look at it again, I think they're going to go ahead and try it, but they got to avoid a 8, or he'll be caught stealing automatically. So 3, so he does get the jump. So Scott Fletcher's going to have to go. Again, he's a 15. +3 from the pitcher-catcher quotient is an 18. -2 for being held is a 16. 1-16. Here's Kennedy's throw, and it's not in time. Fletcher will steal second base. So he gets in scoring position. He's not going to be held on second base. He only runs at a 13, so they're not going to hold him on. And that'll bring up first baseman Pete O'Brien. Nothing on the Havoc. Boddicker to O'Brien. Oops, let me get that. Doing all this, and I've been failing to put it in the computer. So we'll do the fly out by McDowell, and the walk to Fletcher. Now we're ready to go. Here's Pete O'Brien. Boddicker 3-7. That's a fly to center. That is out number 2. And retreating to first base is Scott Fletcher. Here comes Pete Incaviglia. Incaviglia struck out 168 times in 1987. Two, so it's a chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance. Now again, Boddicker's card does not list a balk, but I'm going to pull his card up on the computer. He's got a balk rating of 0, so wild pitch rating of 9, but I'm not going to round the cards because I don't want to round the cards. So no balk. Boddicker to Incaviglia. 5-8, right-handed, struck him out, and there you go. Incaviglia strikes out as normal. So that's going to do it for the Rangers in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left thanks to the walk. And we go to the bottom of the first. It is Texas nothing. Baltimore coming to bat, and Charlie Hough, knuckleballing Charlie Hough, is going to be the first to go out here and face these Orioles. Leading off will be designated hitter Alan Wiggins. 3-9 for Wiggins is a solid single to center field, and you know he's going to be looking to run. Solid single for Alan Wiggins. To get the lead, he needs a 4 through 6 or a 12. 4 through 6 or a 12. He gets it with the 5, so he does get the lead. He will be an 18. Being held makes him a 16. Pitcher-catcher quotient is a +1, makes it a 17. 1-17, Wiggins will make it. And he does. Stolen base for Wiggins. So both leadoff men, or both, not leadoff men, but both runners that get on base steal second successfully. And that puts Wiggins at second base. He will have to hold him on. He runs at a 17. And that's going to bring up Rick Burleson. Hough, nothing on the strategy roll. Here's Burleson. That's a 2-6 for Burleson. It's a ground ball to short. And with the ball hit to shortstop, Wiggins will have to hold at second base. For out number 1 for Cal Ripken. Or as the great Rex Barney used to say, Cal Ripken. He had a pause whenever he did his lineups from the PA booth. Remember Rex Barney very well. 1 is a wild pitch chance. Charlie Hough. Let's look at his wild pitch chance with that knuckleball. His wild pitch rating is an 8. So a 1 to 8, his balk rating is a 13. 1 to 8 is a wild pitch. 14, it will not be a wild pitch. It is blocked by Don Slaught. So here's Ripken with Wiggins at second, 1 out. Wiggins being held, of course. Hough 4-2, and that's a ground ball pitcher B. Out number 2, let me check the super advanced chart. I think he has to hold, but you never know. There might be something in here that says he can move up or have an option. We go to our ground ball super advanced. Infield is back, but when it hits the pitcher, it's assumed to be in. Pitcher is assumed to be playing in. So let's see here. Well, it's good. They don't have a second base. I got to do this one. 6. So ground ball B is a 6. 6 says if it hit the first or second batter out, runner advances. Others all hold. So he had to hold. With it hit to the pitcher, he had to hold. So Wiggins thought about it, but thought better of it. And that's going to bring up Eddie Eat, Drink, and Be Murray. And he is in a clutch situation, as they say. Charlie Hough to Eddie Murray. 4-6 against a switch hitter batting left is a walk. And that's going to put runners at first and second, and that will pass the baton to Fred Lynn, center fielder. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the first of a tie game at no score. Hough trying to wiggle out of this against Freddie Lynn. 2-8 for Fred Lynn, and that's a ballpark blast right here. That triangle, that diamond is right here. 2-8 is a ballpark blast. Home runs in 11. That's a 2. It's a 3-run home run. And Earl Weaver's not the manager anymore in '87, but he sure can appreciate the 3-run home run by Eddie Murray. Took that would-be knuckler and crushed it. We'll check the replay so you can see for yourself close up. Actually, it was Fred Lynn, not Eddie Murray. Fred Lynn, 2-8. Fred Lynn is a ballpark home run chance. And ballpark home runs are 1 to 11. That's a 2. So it's a 3-run bomb from Freddie Lynn. And the Orioles lead it 3-0. They've already exceeded their run total for the whole game in the real one. So here's Ray Knight. 5-2. And that's a fly ball to right field to end the inning. But damage done. 3-run homer from Freddie Lynn. And at the end of 1, it is the Orioles 3 and the Rangers nothing. And this is kind of the game I'm going to just take my time. And now I think I might want to see about how I can do this better and still show the score sheet. I think I've got some room this way. So let's go this way a bit. That will show more of the score sheet, I do believe. Let's bring this down just a hair. Okay, the only bad part about recording is you can't see how it really looks until the recording's done. So it is Mike Boddicker facing Ruben Sierra. And I got plenty of room here. I can see I got plenty of room. I can extend this all the way over here if I have to. So I've got some room there to free up the score sheet, it appears. So Ruben Sierra, or Ruben High Sierra as they call them. Check a lighting thing too. I might have too much light on this. Let's turn this lamp off and see if it makes a difference. Is that better than that? Boy, looking through my phone, I can't really tell. But I think I'm going to go back to the light just to be on the safe side. I don't suppose you can have too much light. Then again, you could. You could. So Boy, I might like it better this way, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'll update the focus just to be on the safe side, but I think that's going to be the best route right there. I think we're going to eschew the lamp. Good thing Dennis Lamp's not in this game. So we turn out the lamp, and here's Boddicker against Sierra. And we get a 6-8 switch hitter batting left-handed. 6-8's a fly to right field. And that's one away. Now when I start playing, other than opening day games, there won't be nearly as much pomp and circumstances. I won't be doing these lineups. It'll be, more streamlined, but first game, opening day, you kind of, just to get myself in the mood, I felt like I needed to do that, whether anybody else cares about it or not. Parrish, Suadice, we're going to re-roll that. Mike Boddicker to Parrish. We get a 4-8, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Boddicker. My K didn't look too good there, did it? Best I can do, I guess. All right, here is Don Slaught, catcher. And you see Slaught has a T rating list here, but not a pass ball rating. I'll get that off the computer. Boddicker, 1-8 to Slaught. Ground ball to short. Ripken is there. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the O's, and they maintain a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. And Charlie Hough will have to come out and try to do better than he did in the first. He's going to be facing Terry Kennedy, John Shelby, and Ken Gerhardt, the bottom of the Oriole lineup. Kennedy coming over from the Padres. Try to shore up their catching position. Longtime Oriole Rick Dempsey is now with Cleveland. 4-5 for Hough against the lefty is a fly to center. O.B. McDowell puts it away. And there's one away. I did the Toronto-Cleveland game live, but I wanted to do this as a recording just to kind of compare and see which one I like better, what the quality and everything is for that. So that's why I'm trying it this way. Here's Shelby. 4-7, and that's going to be a walk. Switch hitter batting left-handed will draw the base on balls. Second walk issued by Mr. Hough. Shelby, to get the jump, needs a 2 through 5, and he's going to try it. Try to get it anyway. Cannot get the jump. He will hold. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Ken Gerhardt. He did not stick around very long. Hough to Gerhardt. That's a 1-2 for Gerhardt. Fly ball center field A. Now, A is very unusual. That's going to advance the runner. It's so deep that Shelby gets to second base. I mean, a fly ball to deep center field. McDowell tracked it down, but going to second base with some heads-up base running is John Shelby. So 2 down, 2 away. And now we have the top of the order, Alan Wiggins again. Wiggins first time up, single, stole second, and scored. Nothing on the havoc roll. Hough has to get Wiggins to get out of this. 4-6 switch hitter. He's going to walk him again. It's a third walk for Charlie Hough. He has had issues with the strike zone. And now, but that does set up a force at any base for a weaker hitter in Rick Burleson. Burleson grounded to short his first time up. So Hough with a chance to get out of this. 4-8, and he walks Burleson to load the bases. So 3 walks have loaded the bases. Unbelievable. He is just can't find the strike zone, and pitching coach has now come out to try to settle him down. And he's going to load the bases and have to deal with Cal Ripken. That's not always necessarily a pleasant position to be in. But that's where he finds himself. No bullpen activity yet, but it might be coming if Hough runs into more issues. Could be a very short afternoon for him. Hough to Ripken. 3-6 to Ripken. Fly ball to center. That's going to end the inning. So he had 3 walks and 3 flyouts to center. Very interesting out and whole inning thing going on there. So the Orioles leave them loaded. And Hough catches a break. Gets to stay in the game without having more issues. And now we go to the top of the third. Boddicker back out. And he will be facing Steve Buechele, Jerry Brown, and then McDowell. So Buechele, third base. 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. First X chance of the game, and it belongs to Rick Burleson. He's not very good. He's a 4 E18. So we'll see if he can get to it first of all. As a 4 and a 6 is going to be a single. It's going to get by him. Now is there going to be an error? He's an E18 at second base. He's got to avoid 3, 13, and 18 are the numbers he has to avoid. And he does that, but it's going to sneak by him for a base hit as he just didn't have the range to get to it. So Buechele, a leadoff single. Boddicker feels like he should have had it out there, but didn't happen. Buechele will not be held. And here's Jerry Brown, the governor. Switch hitting second baseman, speedster. Infield looking to turn 2. 5-2 switch hitter is a pop up to first. Eddie Murray will field it. And there's one away. Big out to get there. Now a double play can get you out of the inning. For O.B. McDowell, he flew to right his first chance. Nothing on the havoc. Here is Boddicker to McDowell. 4-8. That is a strikeout. He's not tired, obviously, in the third inning. He can go up to 7 innings, so that dot does not come into play. And McDowell will whiff. Leaving Buechele at first for Scott Fletcher. Fletcher walked and stole second his first time up. That's a 1. So let me go back and look. I think Boddicker did not have any wild pitch rating. No, he had a 9. I take it back. He didn't have a balk rating. But 9 is his wild pitch rating. 1 to 9 is a wild pitch. And he does. He uncorks it. Kennedy cannot get to it, so it will be a wild pitch. Wild pitch will send Buechele to second. He's in scoring position. Still not going to be held because he only runs at a 12. They're not going to hold him. They don't want to give up the range in the infield. Boddicker will try again. Nothing on the havoc this time. Boddicker to Fletcher. 6-8. And that's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. So he pitches around the single in the wild pitch, does Mr. Boddicker, and gets out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the third, still 3-0 Orioles. And Charlie Hough stands in, will be facing Eddie Murray, Fred Lynn, and Ray Knight. Of course, Fred Lynn, the 3-run homer. So Hough facing Murray. 6-9 to a switch hitter batting left is a fly ball to center field. And O.B. McDowell will make the catch. 1 down. Here's Fred Lynn. He's got to watch that knuckleball because you don't want to give up another home run. Freddie Lynn. Hough 4-7, and that's a walk. So yet another base on balls for Charlie Hough. And that is base on balls number 5 here just in 3 innings. Not even 3 innings. 2 1/3 innings, he's walked 5. Fred Lynn will not be held on. And here's Ray Knight. Nothing on the havoc. Hough to Knight. 2-4 for Knight. That's a pop-up to short. Infield fly rule. And Fletcher puts it away. 2 down. Now we got Terry Kennedy. Terry Kennedy. First time up for Kennedy, he flew to center. 2-6 for Kennedy. He's going to ground to short. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Orioles there. And at the end of 3, it is still 3-0 Baltimore. That 3-run homer from Fred Lynn has stood the test of time so far. And now Pete O'Brien will lead things off. Maybe I'll bring it down here a little bit. Pete O'Brien will lead things off. O'Brien, his first time up, flew to center. Since we're at the end of 3, I'm going to check focus just to make sure that nothing got screwed up, but I didn't put any charts up there, so it is looking all right. All right, here's O'Brien. Fly to center. I get paranoid about that sometimes. 3-11 for O'Brien is a ballpark single check. Pete O'Brien, bring it up here so you can see it pretty good. 3-11 is a ballpark single, which is a 1-3, but that's a 14, so he will line it to second base. Lines it to second base for out number 1, and here comes Incaviglia. Strikeout victim his first time. That's a 3-9, and that's another strikeout. So he has struck out twice. His reputation preceded him. He's living up to it. Here's Ruben Sierra. Sierra flew to right his first chance. 4-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. Again, we're looking at Burleson. He's a 4, which means as a 4, he needs a D20 roll of 7 or higher. Does not, and he gets the 7, exactly what he needed. G3 pound, but nobody's on base, so the pound's irrelevant. And then the second base E18, he's got to avoid the 3, 13, and 18 to make the play. But he gets a 13. What do you know? He can make the play, but now he boots it. And E18 to 13 is right here in center cut as a E1, one base error on a 13. And that is a 13. So Rick Burleson boots at E4, and the inning will continue. And again, Boddicker is looking over at Burleson like, what the hell? You didn't get the range play, and now you're booting it. So Sierra is on. He will be held, but down 3-0, they will not try to run. And they're going to see if Larry Parrish can do something. Parrish had 32 homers on the year, so he could certainly get him right back in the game with one swing. Nothing on the Havoc. Parrish struck out his first chance. Boddicker, 6-10. Ground ball third base X. That's Ray Knight. He's not good range either. He's at 4 on his range. So once again, it's a 1-7 to get to it. Or I'm sorry, a 7 or higher to get to it. 18 he does get to it. It's actually a G1. So it'd be a force play to second as long as there's no error. Ray Knight's error rating is a 23. And at third base, he's got to avoid 3, 11, 13, 15, and 18. So the 3 is not very likely, but the other one could be. On that E23, he's really looking at 11, 13, 15, and 18. That's a 9, so he will make the play, and he'll go the short way for the fielder's choice, 5-4, to end the inning. So Boddicker pitches around the error, picks up his teammate. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, but there's still a 3-0 score. And Charlie Hough back out. We'll be facing Shelby, Gerhardt, and Wiggins. Shelby walked his first time up, but was stranded at third base. 3-3 for Shelby, and it's a pop-up to first base. Pete O'Brien has it, 1 down. And that brings us to Ken Gerhardt. Flew to center his first chance. 6-9 against Hough as a fly to center field. 2 down. So 2 down. For top of the order, and Alan Wiggins. 1-4 for Wiggins. 1-9 is a triple. 10-20, he flies out. That's a 16. So he flies out to Sierra as he takes a triple away from Alan Wiggins. And the Orioles go quietly in the 4th. At the end of 4, it is still 3-0 Orioles. Boddicker back out, and he'll be facing the bottom third of the order. Slaught, Buechele, and Brown due up for the Rangers. Slot his first time, grounded to short. 112, and that's a ballpark home run chance. That's a 4. The home runs are 1 to 11. It is gone. Don Onslaught, we'll call him, with the home run. So Memorial Stadium gives up a home run to him on that. Let's look at it again. 112 against the right-hander is the ballpark home run chance. Home runs are 1 to 11. That's a 4. So Texas on the board cuts the lead to 3 to 1. And that brings up Steve Buechele, third baseman. He singled and was stranded at second in his first at bat. 1-8. He's going to ground it to Ripken at short. And there's one away. Like I said, this game I'm not playing in any hurry. I'm taking my time. Hopefully just being relaxing and not feeling any pressure to get this done in any certain amount of time. I don't want to dilly-dally, but I want to take my time and enjoy the game. So here's Jerry Brown. 5-9, switch hitter, 5-9 to fly to center. Out number 2. And now we flip the order to McDowell. He is 0 for 2. He is blown to right and struck out. 312 for McDowell. That's a ballpark home run blast. But that's a 14. It's going to be just a deep fly to right. And that's going to end the inning. So hauled in by Shelby, and Boddicker kind of held his breath again, but this time the ballpark held it. Rangers get a run on the home run from Slot, but they didn't get the one from McDowell. So at the end of 4.5, it's 3 to 1 now, favor of the Orioles. And here comes Charlie Hough. Again, both pitchers have fatigue at a 7, so they're definitely in good shape. And Rick Burleson is your batter. Burleson has grounded to short and walked. 4-5 against a right-hander as they fly to center field. Out number 1. So maybe Hough can get energized by getting a little bit of run support. Here's Cal Jr. Of course, Cal Sr., the manager. Hough, 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Fletcher is a 3 E26. So a 3, he needs a 6 or higher, actually a 5 or higher to get this. It's a 5 right on the number. 5 right on the number. Nobody's on base, so the pound doesn't come into effect. Fletcher's an E26, so we come over to shortstop. E26, he needs to avoid 12, 17, and 18. 12, 17, and 18 are the only errors. And he does, so good play. One shortstop grounding to the other as Fletcher makes the play on a tough hop and throws out Cal. 2 down for Mr. Eddie Murray. Walked and flown to center. That's a leaner dice there, so I'm going to re-roll that. I'm not going to call it a 2-6. I'm just going to re-roll it. That's a 1-6, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else will be a single, so Eddie Murray will get the base hit. And a 2-6, he might have gotten the base hit anyway, but when it's a leaner like that, I really don't like to use that. I could have pressed it down or something, but I really don't like to do that. So Murray is on first. He will not be held. And here comes Lynn. He's accounted for the 3 runs for the Orioles with his first inning homer. He has also walked. 1-6, and that's a 1-5 single. That's a 6, though. So he's going to line it to second, and Jerry Brown will haul it in to end the inning. So a 2-out single doesn't end up causing Hough any problems. And we go to the 6th inning. It's 3 to 1, favor of the Orioles. And Scott Fletcher will be up first. Fletcher is the first up. Fletcher walked and struck out. It's a 2-4, and he's going to line it to Ripken at short. 1 away, so he kind of returns the favor. Ripken grounded to him for an out, and now Fletcher will line it to Ripken for an out. So they retire each other. Kind of interesting. 1 away, and that brings up Pete O'Brien. He's 0 for 2. 1-5 for O'Brien. It's a straight-up home run. Look at that. Straight-up home run, clean as a baby's butt. No D20 needed. 1-5 home run. There it is. Pete O'Brien goes deep, and it's a 3-2 ball game. So Boddicker bitten by the gopher ball twice now. But they've been solo home runs, not the 3-run variety that plagued Mr. Hough. So Boddicker's doing better because they're just solo shots. Here's Incavilla. He has struck out twice. 4-5, and this time he flies to right field. Shelby is there, 2 down. Ruben Sierra, the batter. Ruben Sierra flew to right and reached on an error. 2-11. That is a ballpark single check. 1-3, but that's a 19. So he will end up lining it to second base to end the inning. But the home run from Pete O'Brien has closed the gap. It is now 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And that once 3-run lead, it looked pretty impressive, has now been dwindled to 1. And Charlie Hough now has been given some hope. So Hough, let's put him up here now since we're going to be using this part down here. So Hough now pitching to Ray Knight. Let me make sure Ray Knight. Yeah, oh, we got plenty of room on this side to show stuff. We got plenty of room peripheral. Maybe not as much up and down. But Ray Knight now is 0-2. Hough 2-8 tonight. That's a singles. That's the first hit of the season for Ray Knight as an Oriole. First hit as an Oriole. He was the MVP of the '86 series for the Mets, and then the Mets didn't re-sign him. So Ray Knight is at first base. He is not being held. He does not run well at all. And here's Terry Kennedy. Nothing on the Havoc. Hough to Kennedy. 5-9 to a left-hander, and that's a strikeout. So Hough baffles Kennedy with a knuckleball. 1 down, and here's John T-Bone Shelby. He has walked and popped to first. 1-7. Forgot to roll strategy or Havoc roll, but I'll let it go this time. 1-7 is a strikeout. I'm not going to re-roll it. Wouldn't be fair to Hough, I don't think. So 1-7 for a strikeout. Here's Gerhardt. Now I got to remember to roll the Havoc roll. Nothing going on. Gerhardt has flown to center twice. 5-7, and he's going to ground it to short. It's a ground ball shortstop X. Since he's right-handed hitter, shortstop not responsible for holding the runner. So he will still be a 3E26. So as a 3, again, he will need merely a 5 or better, 5 or higher to get to this. And he does with a 7. It's going to be a G3. His only play will be to first base. And his error rating is a 26, so the only errors are 12, 17, and 18. If he can avoid 12, 7, and 18, he will make a good play. And that's a 13. He just barely avoided it. But the only play was to first, so he had to go all the way, the long way to first to get the out. 6-3, and that's the end of 6 innings here at Memorial Stadium. To score at Baltimore 3, Texas 2. And since we're at the end of the 6th, another block of 3 innings, I will stand up a little bit and check focus and make sure everything's fitting in view and all that good stuff. I don't want to have any issues if I can avoid it. Looks like I could probably bring this down a hair. I want to make sure the line score doesn't get cut off. All right, so Boddicker now will be facing Larry Parrish, Don Slaught, and Steve Buechele here in the top of the 7th. 2-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to Ripken at shortstop. 1 away. On the 2-9, ground ball to short, 1 away. Here's Don Slaught. He homered his last time up, broke the ice for the runs. First Texas run. Boddicker 1-7 strikes him out, so he gets revenge a little bit. Picks up the K. And for Boddicker, that is strikeout number 6. And here is Buechele. He is 1 for 2. 4-4 on Boddicker is a fly ball center field X. That is Fred Lynn. He's a 3E3. 3 and an E3. So as a outfielder with a 3, he needs a 7 or higher to get to this. And he does. 8 he barely does. It's an F1. But with 2 outs, that's good enough. Just has to avoid the error now. And in center field, he is an E3. So the only errors are 3, 16, and 18. So if we can avoid a 3, 16, and 18, he's in good shape. And he does. So Fred Lynn makes the tough catch to end the inning. And we've made it to the 7th inning stretch. Boddicker can still keep going. He has nothing against his fatigue. He has still got full strength, full endurance. But now we are at the 7th inning stretch. Let me check on Tabby. Tabby's right behind me. She was quiet. Now she's getting up under my feet. I'm going to have to pause the video and make sure Tabby doesn't do anything. One moment. All right, we are back. I had to take care of Tabby. She wanted to go out of the room, so I had to let her out. And in the meanwhile, we are, as like I said, at the 7th inning stretch. So stand up, stretch, and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." All right, an abbreviated version of that, just for time's sake, just to get you in the mood, but not have to go all the way through the whole thing. All right, bottom of the 7th, Charlie Hough. This is his fatigue inning, so we need to be aware of that. And Alan Wiggins is going to be the leadoff man. Wiggins is 1 for 2, single, walk, stolen base, and he's flown to right field. So Orioles clinging to that 3-2 lead. No bullpen activity for either team yet, as both starters are still going strong. 2-7, and that's going to be a ground ball to third. Bouchel will handle it. 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Burleson. We think about maybe substituting for him, but they didn't substitute him in the real game, so I'm not going to look ahead and play devil's advocate. I'm going to just play it as it is. 3-7 struck him out. If they were behind, I'd probably do it. But since they're ahead, we're going to leave him out there. Here's Cal Ripken. He is 0 for 3. So Cal looking for his first hit of the 87 season. Hough 3-11. Won't get it. He's going to pop it up to Jerry Brown. So Ripken 0 for 4. Off to a slow start in the opener of the 1987 season. And Charlie Hough keeps full endurance as well, as he goes 1, 2, 3. So we start the 8th. It's 3-2. Boddicker will be facing the top of the bottom of the order, Jerry Brown, and then it goes to McDowell and Fletcher. No bullpen activity as of yet. Boddicker to Brown. 5-11. Switcher batting left. That's a ballpark single check, and that's a 2. He only needed a 3 or less, and he gets the 2 on that evil D20, and Jerry Brown gets a leadoff single, and he's going to be looking to get the jump. Again, the quotient for hold for Boddicker is a +3, so to get the lead, he needs a 2, a 4 through 9, and he's out automatically on 11. So he needs a 2 or a 4 through 9. Basically a 2 through 9 without the 3. And he gets the lead, 7. So he does get the lead. He's a 15. Being held makes him a 13, but that +3 makes him a 16. 1 to 16, he'll steal it. And he does. Stolen base. Stolen base. And now I've been playing, I also play inside pitch, so they have different throw ratings. And I'm trying to remember if it's 1, 2, 3 or just 1, 2 on Strat-O-Matic. I'm thinking it's a possible throwing error on a 3, but I will double check it. Yep, T rating comes into play for Terry Kennedy, as he possibly might be throwing this ball away. Terry Kennedy's T rating, though, is only a 1 or a 2. So it has to be a 1 or a 2 for there to be a throwing error. And it's 18, so it is blocked. It is blocked by Ripken. So the stolen base for Brown is just a stolen base. There is no error on the play. So nice play by Ripken to avoid a throwing error on Kennedy. Now that puts Brown at second base with nobody out for Odeby McDowell. And now the Oriole bullpen is stirring. They are stirring. And just as a reminder, going back to the opening sheet here for the Oriole bullpen, they have Don Ossie, they have Tony Arnold, and Dave Schmidt and Williamson from the right side, and they have Eric Bell from the left side. So coming up for the Rangers, it is McDowell, Fletcher, and then O'Brien. We got a lot of righties and switches in there. Let's see who they might be thinking about. And this guy was their closer in 86, but he got hurt shortly in 87. Does not have a Strat card. I've got a printed card for him. Don Ossie is loosely in the bullpen. I do have the printed card. Of course, I got him on the computer as well, but I got his printed card from the computer. So Don Ossie looking to get the save maybe. And I believe he did come in the 8th inning in real world in this game. So that's where we're going with that. Boddicker. Nothing going on. Facing McDowell. And McDowell is 0 for 3. That's a 5-6. And that is a 1-13 double. But that's a 19. So it's a fly to right field for out number 1. And let's double check the ruling on that. On a fly ball to right field with a runner at second, fly ball right field B. Not the B question mark, but the plain old B. And let's take a look. Runner in second base. Here we go. For those that are not sure of the rule. 14-3. Rule 14-3 on page 5. Fly ball to right field only. Runner second may advance with this calculation. Base runner rating plus or minus the outfielder's arm plus 2. Roll a 20-sided die. However, the only out chance is 20. So if he's not safe, he won't be out unless it's a 20. So Brown runs at a 15. The outfielder arm, Shelby, is a... Was he a +3? No, I'm sorry, he's a -3. I didn't put the minus sign there. Shelby actually is a -3 arm. So -3 arm. Actually, -2, my bad. It's a -2 arm. So Brown's a 15, -2 is a 13, but get the +2 back is a 15. So the 1 to 15, Brown will take third. 16 and 19, he holds. 20, he's out. He gets to third base. That's very important. He's at third with only 1 out. Now the Oriole infield will have to come in. That was huge, getting to third base. Now the infield is in for Scott Fletcher. Boddicker trying to hang tough. Ossie is ready, but they're going to stick with Boddicker. Nothing on the Havoc. Infield is in. Fletcher 0 for 2. 6-12. That's a ground ball pitcher B with the infield in. Let's take a look. There's a fatigue thing there, but he's not tired yet. So it's not going to translate to a hit. But now let's look at infield in. Runner at third. Infield in, runner at third. Ground ball B is a 7. Batter safe. Lead runner is out. So they have thrown out Jerry Brown at the plate. As he tried to come in and score, it's going to go 1-2 as a fielder's choice. 1-2. Boddicker got it to Kennedy, and he applied the tag. So a big break there. Big break there. So with 2 outs, Fletcher is at first base. He could try to get the lead and try to get it into scoring position. He's already stolen 1 base. He might as well try again. 2 through 6 or a 10, and again an 8, he's out. That's a 6, so he gets the lead. 15 plus 3 is an 18, minus 2 is a 16. 1 to 16, he'll steal it again. 18, he got caught stealing. Boy, Kennedy on his game here. And Ripken applies the tag to end the inning. Well, it looked promising for the Rangers. They just ran themselves completely out of the inning. And out at home plate and out on the base pass trying to steal. And I think that's going to be it for Boddicker. They're going to turn it over to Don Ossie in the 9th. So Boddicker certainly did his job as he survives. Hough will come back out. He's going to stay in the game. He had nothing against his fatigue. Let's get the numbers on, and the computer certainly, this is where the computer can come in and really help. Let's get the numbers on Boddicker, his final numbers on opening day. Mike Boddicker goes 8 innings, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, they were both earned, 1 walk and 6 strikeouts, and he is in line to get the win. And like I said, Charlie Hough's going to stay in the game. It's going to be Murray, Lynn, and Knight. So they could go to Mitch Williams here. But Hough has done pretty well recently, so they're going to stick with Hough until he gets in trouble. Mitch Williams and Greg Harris both loosening in the Texas bullpen, just in case they are needed. And again, Texas bullpen, Anderson, Harris, Loynd, Mahorsic are the right side, Mason and Williams the left side. And of course, Don Ossie will come in and pitch the 9th for the O's. I put a lot of stuff in front of the phone, so I think I messed up the focus there for a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's get that corrected. All right, so Charlie Hough to Murray, 5-10, switch hitter, catcher X. The catcher is Slot. He's a 3E10. 3E10 for Don Slot. A 3 and an E10. So a catcher 3. Catcher 3. Basically to avoid a hit, he's got to not do a 1. That's a 3. It's a W/G. So with nobody on base, it should be a ground out if there's no error. And his error rating, we said, was an E10. So Slot E10. He's got to avoid a 12 and an 18. That's a 9. It's good enough. So W/G with nobody on base. Squibber in front of the plate, and he throws the runner out. So Eddie Murray is out 2-3 on the ground out. Nice play by Don Slot. And here's Fred Lynn. His 3-run homer has still been the deciding factor in the game. 3-7, and that's a 1-17 double. 18-20 is a single. That's a 20 there, so he caught a bad break. But Fred Lynn will single. He's aboard. And now you wonder if there might be a pinch runner for Fred Lynn. They are going to the bench for a pinch runner. And it will be Lee Lacy to pinch run. And what they will do is, for defensive purposes, they will move Shelby to center, and Lee Lacy can stay in the game and play right field, or they could bring in another right fielder. They don't have that many good right fielders. Jim Dwyer is a decent one. So they might do Lacy just to pinch run and then bring in Dwyer to play right field. So we're going to have Dwyer in right field in the top of the 9th for Lynn. And Dwyer's defense, he is a 3+1 and an E1. Shelby in center field is a 2 -2 and an E6, so it stays the same. It did not hurt him any to move to center field. So Lee Lacy's going to pinch run. He is a 16. So the Orioles using Lacy and Dwyer. So Lacy is aboard. He's going to have to be held at a 16. He won't try to steal, I don't believe. He's not going to try to steal, but he will have to be held. With 1 out, here comes Ray Knight. So let's get that on the computer. Let me bring in the pinch runner, Lee Lacy. Running for Knight. I'm sorry, running for Lynn. Knight's at the plate. Can't run for the guy at the plate, obviously. So Lacey will be the pinch runner for Lynn, and then Shelby will take over in center field. So right now it is Ray Knight. Charlie Hough to Ray Knight with 1 out and a runner at first. Hough to Knight. Knight is 1 for 3. That's a 2-4, and that's a pop up to short to Fletcher. Out number 2. And that's going to take us to Terry Kennedy, who's 0 for 3. Hough going to try to go full 8 innings if he can. Keep those guys in the bullpen. Hough to Kennedy. Whoa, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. It's a 5-11 to a lefty. And that's a ballpark home run chance. That's a 2. It is long and it is gone. He got bit by the gopher ball once again. This time Terry Kennedy takes him deep. And you wonder if Bobby Valentine should have gone to the bullpen, but Hough wasn't fatigued. They thought he could do it. But a 2-run shot makes it 5-2 Orioles. And now John Shelby is at the plate. The reason he's an E6, the card says E11, but this is a combined card with him and the Dodgers. So on the computer he is listed as a 2E6. So that's what I'm going by. And it's a -2 on the computer, not a -3. But that's what I'm going by. When he goes to the Dodgers, I think maybe he takes that particular thing there. I'm not sure. But anyway, here is Shelby. They're going to go ahead and, well, Hough now is fatigued. Do they worry about bringing, I mean, the game's almost over now, so it's almost pointless to bring anybody in. They might as well let him pitch to Shelby. 5-12, and that's a ballpark home run blast. But that's a 19, so we got away with it there. And the inning's over. But a 2-run homer from Terry Kennedy. Talk about insurance runs. You just saw the full definition of an insurance run. And we go to the 9th. Last chance for Texas. It's a 5-2 ball game. And the new pitcher for the Orioles will be Don Ossie. Don Ossie. So let's bring in Ossie and also do these defensive changes. In right field will be Jim Dwyer. He will take over in right field. And moving from right field to center field is John Shelby. So we'll update our board. Shelby now is in center field. And the new right fielder is Jim Dwyer. So Dwyer is in to play in center field, and Don Ossie is on. Due up for the Rangers is the heart of the order: O'Brien, Incavilla, and Sierra. So they're not looking to go to the bench. If they need to go to the bench later, they have Brower, Paciorek from the right side, Porter from the left side. Petralli and Wilkerson are switch hitters. I thought Petralli was a lefty, but the computer shows him as a switch. So that's why I had to write that in. So anyway, top of the 9th, Don Ossie with a 3-run lead to protect. So you can't ask for an easier save than a 3-run lead with the bases clear. Ossie to O'Brien. That's a 111 from a right-hander. It's a fly ball to right field. So fly to right. One away. And I forgot to do the totals on Charlie Hough. So let me do those real quick so we can get him updated. He officially will have a complete game, assuming it doesn't go extra innings, which I doubt it does, but or at least to the 9th, I mean. So 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs. They were all earned, 5 walks and 3 strikeouts. The killers were the 2 home runs, a 3-run homer from Lynn in the 1st, and a 2-run homer from Kennedy in the 8th. So the gopher ball bit Charlie Hough both times. So O'Brien flies to right, brings up Incavilla. Pete Incavilla, he is 0 for 3. 1-8. He's going to be 0 for 4 with his third strikeout. That gives him the hat trick. And Noah wasn't going to pinch hit for Pete Incaviglia. He hit .271 with 27 homers. So I was not going to pinch hit for him there. Nobody on the bench is better than him anyway, I don't believe. All right, last chance, Ruben Sierra. That's a 4-4. Sierra switch hitter. 4-4 is a catcher X. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera there. But Don Ossie, it's a 4-4 is a catcher X. So Kennedy is a 4E4. So we go to our catcher result. 4E4. And basically, once again, just needs to avoid a 1 since there's nobody on base. It's a 3. It's a WG. So if there's no error, he will throw out Sierra at first base and end the game. He is an E4, so he has to avoid 16, 17, or 18. It's the only 3 numbers that can get him. And that's only a 12, so he makes the play. Kennedy will throw out Sierra to end the ball game. 1, 2, 3 inning for Don Ossie as he records the save. And Charlie Hough will take the loss. The win goes to Boddicker. The save to Don Ossie. So now we go to our box score. And I like to do a little thing here real quick for each team. So let's do this. Okay. All right. I will pause the video and be right back with your totals. Okay. We are back at Memorial Stadium to put a wrap on this one. Orioles win it here on opening day, 1987. They defeat the Rangers by the score of 5-2. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Orioles. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Winning pitcher Mike Boddicker, he is 1-0. Charlie Hough the loss, 0-1, and Don Ossie the save, his first. Home runs in the game. Fred Lynn, his first. Terry Kennedy, his first for the Orioles. For the Rangers, Don Slott, his first, and Pete O'Brien, his first. Player of the game, Fred Lynn, his 3-run homer, kind of put the Orioles in the catbird seat for most of the game. Texas got close, but could have given it to Boddicker. He went 8 innings, giving up 2 runs, but I think Fred Lynn's 3-run homer just really set the tone and gave the Orioles confidence that they could win that game. Now, another thing that is advantageous when you record is I can pause the video and print the actual score sheet that I just scored the game with. And there it is. 5-2, Orioles win it. The left on base total, Orioles 6, Rangers 3. But there you see Boddicker the win, Ossie the save, and Charlie Hough the tough luck loser, giving up those 2 dingers to Fred Lynn and Terry Kennedy. So hopefully you enjoyed. I certainly had fun playing it. Hopefully you had fun watching it. Opening day 1987 from Baltimore. Texas Rangers and the Baltimore Orioles. Not sure which next game will be played on opening day. There are several that were played on the 6th, which was opening day, April the 6th, 1987. As I look at the American League schedule, there's also games. Boston is at Milwaukee. Chicago White Sox are at Kansas City, and the Yankees are at Detroit. Of course, Cleveland at Toronto. Obviously that was the very first game played. And so the other 3 games are remaining. Just not sure what order I want to play them in. I don't really think it matters, but let me see something. I think I had it set up. I believe the Yankees and Detroit are the next game that I had set up, but don't quote me on it. Let me double check it here. Check my lineup boards that I have filled out. Let's see. Actually, no, I take it back. Boston and Milwaukee is the next game to be played. So Boston and Milwaukee, Bob Stanley for the Red Sox and Teddy Higuera for the Brewers. And of course, in 1987, the Brewers in real world started the season 13-0. Not sure they can do that here on Strat-O-Matic, but you never know. That's why you play the games. So, once again, hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced. And as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you down the road.